They might be in very pitiful conditions, but that does not take away the love that that child has for the parent or the parent has for the child. And we will fight for that, because there are courts and there are child services that say, well, they don't have the money to take care of them adequately. Money has nothing to do with that. The principle of it is the love that they have for that child. And as a result of that, I've talked to social service agencies, and they're very critical. They'll take your child in a minute if they feel like you don't have a bedroom separate for that children. Hey, we all grew up in the same one room. I remember in winter time we had one bed, and when it got cold, we slept sideways. Boy, if we ate beans, boy, it smelled like cereal in there. Yeah. So, you're right, that who can say that the love between the child and the parent is based upon the income?
We're in there. Even if we're pitiful poor,
Yeah.
and there's programs up here that a lot of people don't know about, we just have to get the word out.
Well, this letter supports, this resolution supports the law. And it's a very historic event today just to make this resolution and approve it. So committee, all those that approve signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All those abstain, same sign. Motion's carried. Thank you.
You know, Walt's, it's about the enrollment, I've been wondering all these years, we've turned in quite a few papers to get my mother on the roll, and she's made a huge contribution to the Comanche Nation, to the Comanche Nation, Language Committee and everything else. I mean, they created that Comanche language for us. And I know there's been proposals to put her on the road, and I wonder whatever happened to all this. Because I remember one time you told her that you were gonna look into it and see if you could make some kind of resolve for her, and that was on
Yeah.
one of your terms. I just don't remember what happened after that.
Yeah. Well, it's all dependent upon the committee you work with. And there was committees that wanted to take people off the road.
Yeah.
And thank God we don't have that committee here.
Yeah.
And if you have, but somebody's deceased, how do you go back and make somebody on the road who's deceased?
Well, it was just paper only. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
a proclamation or something like that she, I don't know.
I called it to the attention of committees several years. And some of you may know, but Margaret was a fluent Comanche speaker. And the National Museum is celebrating its 25th anniversary. Is it 25th or 30th? 25th. And Thanksgiving weekend will be their 25th anniversary. They invited the Comanche Nation to come up there and put on a program. So we may observe Thanksgiving Day right there in the museum. And like Jonathan said, when it comes to Thanksgiving Day, who's going to bring this, who's going to bring that? Well, Jonathan said, I'll bring the Indians. That's cool. So we might have to bring the Indians and have gourmet turkey or something. But I agree with you. And she also offered the prayer at that celebration that was there. I know I was an announcer and I called upon her. And a beautiful job in Comanche. But this comes from history, and a lot of our tribal members that when they look at adoption, they don't know the seriousness of how that family feels, just like we were talking about the love between a parent and a child. That was very apparent in this situation too from Monadicke, how much he loved a child and to provide them through adoption. I've seen all those documents. I've seen them. And I've had some compassion over the years, but I've had committees that we worked with that were compassionate. And as a result of that, nothing was being done. But you're right. What kind of litmus test would a person have to prove? I remember one time in Omaha, Nebraska, there was this Taiwo young man. He came up there to the Omaha Council, sitting like we are. I learned the Omaha language. I learned the Omaha songs. I learned what it's like to converse with the elders and to be a part of the community. I want you to make me a member of the Omaha tribe, he said. And the chairman of them said, you know, it wasn't up to us to make these membership requirements. It was up to the Great White Father to make that decision. So you go to the Great White Father and have him change his mind so you can be on the Omaha road. So that's where we're at.
Well, she was born into the Comanche Nation. You know, as a little child.
Yeah.
Up until the last part of the years where I remember she was still wearing her Indian clothes, her Christunas, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, when we moved to town, all that quit, but, she was actually raised by, Moore Sunrise's mom.
Yeah.
And that's how they became brothers and sisters.
I've known your mom for a lot of years, and I'm happy that she didn't get after me like she got after you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's something that you could bring to this committee and close doors, and maybe we can at some point in time talk about it. Get your documents together, let's see what we can go. How's that?
Yeah, that sounds good. Like I say, you know, she was born into this Comanche Nation. She wasn't adopted into it, she was born into it. So, I mean, all up until, she's probably about 14 or 15, she thought she was Comanche full-blood.
Yeah, there was others that fall in the same
Yeah.
situation too. I can think of others, but that's something we'd have to talk about. Committee, we're going to resolution number 2614, whereas the Comanche Nation is requested to deobligate the remaining funds in the amount of $2,271.12 for the Post Oak Creek and Bridge project, BIA project number B06098082. This project is located in Indiahoma, Comanche County, Oklahoma. The contract for this project has now expired as of December 31st and requires deobligation. Therefore, be it resolved, the Comanche Business Committee authorizes the Bureau of Indian Affairs to fulfill the request for the said project. Do we have a motion to approve? Motion has been made by Committeeman Michael. Do we have a second?
So moved. Which way is the money going?
How's
Going
that?
back to
Giving
the
it
Bureau.
back to them, or?
Going back to the Bureau. It's underage. They didn't, yes. For the amount of the contractor, the construction company come in $2,000. They didn't spend $2,000.
So I said,
So it goes back to the pot.
shall we forward that?
Yeah. Kind of lose it in a sense.
But the bridge is complete.
Yes, it's named Ray Naito, Manina after Ray Naito. I think we're gonna add Rosella to that too, Grandma Rose. So, Memorial Bridge.
Okay, we have a motion made by Committeeman Michael, and a second by Secretary Treasurer Thumb-Carter to approve resolution 2614. Any further discussion, committee? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. All those abstain. Motion carried. Resolution number 2714, whereas the Comanche Nation sees a critical need to create an infrastructure for a tribal court to ensure the efficient and fair administration of justice and to resolve conflicts and disputes and enforce tribal laws through the application of written laws, codes, and ordinances of the Comanche Nation. And whereas the United States Department of Justice, through the Coordinated Tribal Advance Assistance Solicitation, has funds available ranging from $250,000 to a maximum of $1 million to accomplish its purpose. And whereas the Comanche chairman or his designee is an official representative of the Comanche Nation and is authorized to negotiate and approve contracts. Now therefore be resolved, the Comanche Business Committee does hereby approve the submission of a grant application to the United States Department of Justice to the FY 2014 Coordinated Tribal Assistance Solicitation Grant Program. Be it further resolved, the Comanche Business Committee acting for and in behalf of Comanche Nation does hereby authorize this resolution for such intent. Committee, do we have a motion to approve resolution 2714?
I'll make that motion to approve 2714.
Motion has been made by Vice Chairman Maceski to approve resolution number 2714. Do we have a second?
Second that motion.
One of the real purposes for tribal court is that we can enforce our tribal laws and ordinances. But we all know that we've had issues with the CFR court. How many of you out there have problems with the CFR court? Anybody have any problems with it? I know I have. Yeah. And I think that if we had our own tribal court, there will be those of you that will have problems with their own tribal court. Because,
If I'm a judge.
because he wants to be judge.
All right, 30 days in jail.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, do you need a vote from the tribal council in order to go with this motion?